Welcome back, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for more Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. There you go, that's the name of it. Okay, so here we are. Voice LP continue. So, Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to the office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm pretty sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. That would mean he has an accomplice. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe?
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Portsman alibi! Here we go. If memory serves, you came back to the office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Portsman's alibi may seem perfect at first glance, but I know there's a hole in it somewhere. All I need to do is press him a little and see what comes of it. Here we go. You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. It is as you say, however... Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come on now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if you really remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit? Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Well, we do go and ask around to confirm the testimony. And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time.
See? I had the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? I had a sudden sullen look on your face.
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there.
Sir.
Please escort the young lady out, but remember to be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? The intruder I met could not have been Mr. Portsman. Then who could it have been? That's the problem! I have no idea. I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic. Files in disarray. Mr. Portsman's alibi. Another handgun. Let's try the handgun, I guess. Connect? There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once. Meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Maybe the victim's killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Okay. Files in disarray and another visitor. Alright. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were appended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun, and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back. Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief.
The thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. That means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
But what do you mean, 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another?
Visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked.
The one who stole the key! Yeah, right.
However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves.
Yeah, that explains that part. I was like, why is the key missing then?
This was the second time they were disturbed. It seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir?
Yep. Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times?
Precisely. Now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. The alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Yeah, now for the hard part, proving that they're unrelated. What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence.
No way to prove the other guy, I guess.
Just supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof that at this point. Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
Portsman's Alibi Part 2.
Okay, music. That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
No, that's not gonna work right there.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course, now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? Yeah. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
Just mentioned he was in his room again. And if he was in his room, how would he not hear the gunshot?
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
You mean the zero files, right?
And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup, and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. This music's pretty good. Once escaped, I highly doubt the thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all. Hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. But according to Mr. Faith's notes... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? We have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. You see? So I insist again that it was in my office the entire time. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, there's sofas in the hallway. He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? There were things related to yesterday's case. Just two things, a gun and a pendant. That's new. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to slip through the cracks. He brought me two items, a gun and a pendant, that are related to yesterday's case. A gun and a pendant? Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to the criminal's affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. And all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see what you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. Just have to find a way to prove it. If he stole the master key, wouldn't he still have it on him when he died? His version is Jim's in there, she kills him, and then she leaves. And then another person came in. Okay, what? The thief. I guess when she killed him, she took the master key back. Alright, scum save! Scum save! I'm not sure. Go. This isn't it. It would behoove you to take a good look at this. I see, but I fail to see how it was anything to do with me. Is that so? Alright. You're not at the top of your game today, are you, Mr. Genius Prosecutor? I can't allow him to set the pace here. Must remain calm. Only by doing so can I find the fatal flaw in his reasoning. I think I might have to just press again. Reload. Too far. Too far. Oh god, okay, there it is. Woo! Okay. So let's just press everything again, because evidently, maybe I'm supposed to press some more. See if there's anything new. Sometimes pressing something will lead to another thing that's worth pressing again. Oh, I got nothing! I don't understand. Okay. It is now time for the age-old tradition of just presenting everything, so we're doing that. I got no idea. Wait, did the music change there? It did change there. What? Oh, 3 pieces of evidence. It wasn't 2, it was 3. Ah, there it is. He brought 3 pieces of evidence, not 2. There it is. Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece of... I think you should read carefully.
Huh, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe... To get tripped up by some simple arithmetic.
What? Where's the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Well, don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stuffing me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. A tape? A snuff film.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why would he hide something like this?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin.
Here the crap does it say?
KG8 incident. The KG8 incident?
It's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting, however, what's recorded on it, and this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over.
Blood. Ah, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? No, you've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you would tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have his videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints?
Yeah.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to you, to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible.
Oh, Jesus, his teeth are wrecked. He swallowed it! Oh, he's dead. He passed out.
Yay!
March 14, 5:47 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool detection skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
It was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir.
Yeah, we still gotta figure out about the burglar. But if it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from the goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court case. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence?
They say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you, me, and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh? Well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. This?
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
It would happen to the stolen pages. I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir? Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven, a three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's been talking about.
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief, Yatakarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, Yatakarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Oh, you're kidding me. Alright. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatakarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Corporate dealings exposed. The Yatakarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with a single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatakarasu last appeared.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatakarasu. Yatakarasu organization. But a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatakarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Okay? The end. For now. Alright. Turnabout Visitor, replaced by Turnabout Airlines. What? Save. Alright, we're gonna stop there, obviously. Stopping there. Wait for it to save. God, this game came out 11 years ago. Jesus. Alright. Okay, so there we go. So let me put the screen there. 1 second. Edgeworth! Not perfect. Next one is, it's gotta be her. I see the whip, it's her. Name, Von Karma's daughter, Von whatever her name is. Von Bitch, let's go with that. There we go. So that right there, put it back to this one. There we go. So that right there is the game for now. I have fun, hope you've been watching. That's what's up, isn't it? Having fun, thanks for coming by, and see you next time when we see her again. Seriously, like, apparently the only romance in this whole game is Gumshoe and Maggie. That's it. We have past ones with Phoenix and Iris, but nothing goes forward, which is like, what? Why?